Like the shit up. Like the shit up.
Welcome to another fight review. This time we're looking at my lightweight title. Obviously we had to do the two most important ones first, which is my welterweight dual title and my lightweight title. They're the most important ones of my career so far. So this time we're looking at my fight against Joe McColgan. Joe McColgan is obviously a Irish fighter who I fought for the lightweight title. Quite a big guy, quite dangerous. I took this fight on short notice. It was originally meant to be in London against an Italian called Danilo Bellardo. He pulled out with medical issues pre-COVID. Then I was meant to be fighting a French opponent. Crazy Legs, his name is. I can't remember his full name. He pulled out of a show leading up to the London card with conjunctivitis in his eyes. Then he still wasn't ready when my fight comes, so they had to put him again. Joe McColgan's opponent pulled out as well, same as mine, so they matched us on short notice, and that was the end of that. Because obviously the two of us were quite well known in the lightweight division. Both of us had a tidy run of fights below us. They put on as a lightweight title fight, and started the. It was just another stepping stone towards my legacy. So I remember, obviously this got changed to Manchester the week of the fight. So we ended up losing, I don't know how much on hotel rooms and all sorts. But the Cage Warriors guys did as much as they could to make sure this fight went ahead. And yeah, I mean, all I cared about was getting in there and fighting, especially when that lightweight title was put on the line. Like, I think it took me about 15 minutes to get back to him and accept this fight. It was never really in question. I just wanted to make sure my coaches were happy. Joe was a dangerous guy moving into it. I'd originally watched him fight against a friend of mine, Frango, in Newport before I made my pro debut, and before I went back to MMA when I was still boxing. And I remember I wrote a list of people I wanted to fight, and Joe McColgan was on that list. So it was another name I got to tick off, and another person I'd seen beaten, and someone who I highly rated, but I knew I could tear apart. So it was another stepping stone. So my game plan against Joe McColgan was to hit the calf, put a lot of pressure on him, hit his front leg, and fight him against the cage. He was someone I knew who was dangerous in range, someone who, if you leg into a rhythm, is very dangerous in what he does. So I knew I needed to crush his game. I needed to stick close to his chest. And to be fair, it was someone that on a short notice change, something I thought was easy enough to do. Like, it was nothing I worried about. It was an easy adaptation to make in camp, because it was something I'm prepared to do against most people. To be fair, the whole matchup was a good matchup for me. So a couple people messaged me the week of the fight actually and asked me how I thought I was going to finish him, and I told everyone it'll be a second round. I'll finish him in the second. A couple of my friends I'd spoke to, and I said, look, I really think I'd get him over in the first round. And I remember that some people I spoke to or would see my interviews, they put bets on that I'd knock him out in the first round. I know quite a lot of people make quite a lot of money off it, so fair play to them for putting their money on the line. A lot of people asked me, obviously this was the first show I'd done without a crowd, if it made much of a difference, and to be fair, didn't make any difference to me. The only difference was that you could hear the shots more, you could hear the corner easier, and it was obviously a different environment walking out, but with your music playing out loud in the background, it's still an enjoyable time, do you know what I mean? So this was something that I'd thought about for a long time. It's something I'd visualised before I made my debut. It was something I know since I was a kid I was always going to do. So straight away we come out, I hit the jab and straight away hit his calf. Like, it was something we knew what I needed to do. I stayed mobile and stayed away, because he is dangerous with his tie. But I knew that I was better striking in range, and I knew that I was the better striker out of the two of us. Straight away I get that 2-on-1 grip on his arm again, start dragging it across. It's an easy way to control. And I started kneeing them legs. Like I said, my game plan was to smash his legs. So the knees, the foot stomps, everything I put in by ear is all just to slow him down. And just, like I said, just to break him mentally. Like, it's something I like to do, where I like to make them uncomfortable and make them weak. And I remember every wrestling exchange we got into in this fight was all about me just slowing him down, and it was all about me just wearing him away and wearing away at that knee, wearing away at that leg, and just making him uncomfortable to move. Because obviously, if he's uncomfortable to move, I'm fast on my feet, then there's not much he can do. Straight away, look, he slowed down his feet now. There's less movement, and he allows me to hit that leg a lot more easily. I control the range, control the footwork, and I'm always controlling the distance. It's always my distance I control whenever I'm stepping in. I always stay just out of boxing range and just out of kicking range, so I can always dictate where we're going. And again, hammering that jab and hammering that leg kick. I know a lot of this, like, every time you see me take a shot, you'll always make sure that you'll see a fence in the way of it. You'll see like something in the way so that he is struggling to land, so that there's nothing clean. Reverse side kick went in quite nice. The oblique kick's going in. Like, everything is on that front leg. I'm constantly hammering it, constantly working it. But it isn't until you start seeing it go red, you see it start working away, that you really sort of understand the significance of it. Like, that's the first combo where I give him a nod back, because he did land flush. He landed the left body hook across, and the right leg chop it was. But it was nothing to worry about. That's the only time in the fight we ever sort of landed clean. Everything else was just glancing blows. And again, we're back on the straight away lifting that leg, because he didn't want me to hit it. So I'm driving knees, dropping shots, just constantly making him uncomfortable. So I moved him a couple times to try to lift him, but it was more so I just wanted to make him uncomfortable and get him off the cage a little bit, and to go back to working the double unders. I'm in a good place. I'm smashing that leg, and I'm just making him uncomfortable again. Like I said, it's just all about smashing that leg. So he's lifting that leg, so I went to the other one. And it's just keeping him pressured there, just again, constantly chipping away at what he's doing, and just keeping him uncomfortable. So again, the commentary said there, this is my first time in a 5-round fight. This was the first fight I prepared for. There was 5 rounds, but I've been training the same sort of way for my last couple of fights. I remember all I did really was increase my runs, made sure my weight was in a good place, and we do get into a bit of gun, a sort of an exchange, and he is quick, but I knew I'd been hammering that leg. So again, as soon as I pressed him back, it's back on that leg, and back at distance again, and back smashing his front leg all the way through, and he just didn't have an answer for it. And I wore away at him so much that I could start being a bit more fluid. Now he's struggling to move, where I'm really loose, I'm really fluid, and I'm controlling the distance. So it's just a matter of time. Wearing away, and that was the combo that landed. I remember I hit the calf by here now, set off the jab, the calf kick. My girlfriend told me off about that kick, actually. That's another story. But yeah, there's the calf again, and then that's the end of it now. Pressuring through. He starts helling up, and the knee comes through the middle, and that's the end of him. He was done. Like, it wasn't just sort of a droppage off the knee. Like, I remember he was done. Done. So yeah, so that was my first world title fight. We celebrated after it, but again, it was nothing sort of new. It was nothing unplanned. Like, we always knew it was going to happen on the way to UFC. And I knew that I'd have to defend. I just never expected to fight for that welterweight title after it. So definitely the welterweight title meant more than the first one, definitely. So the doctor checked, and I remember saying to the doctor, "I'm got a mark on my face." Even though we exchanged shots, nothing was clean. Everything he hit me with, I deflected or bounced off something, and nothing landed flush. So it was a good fight. So one of the things I am on these fights is I am always hypercritical of my performances. I like to break things down, and I like to pick out what I do wrong. I always see what I do wrong. I don't really like looking at what I do well, only what I ever do wrong, because you always improve by what you do wrong. So I am hypercritical of my performances, but I'm 9-0. I was 9-0 at this point. I'm 10-0 now. 10-0. I've got 4 TKOs, 3 submission wins, and 3 decisions. And those decision wins do hurt me, but they were learning experiences for me. So I was more than happy with the way this fight went. So after this fight, I remember speaking to him, and I did wonder who they gave me at lightweight. And to be fair, with the whole COVID situation kicking in, so for those who weren't aware, this fight happened the day lockdown went into place. So this went in March on the day of lockdown. It was a weird situation. Obviously, the venue got changed. I don't know the amount of problems we had leading up to it. So we didn't even know when I'd be able to defend, when I'd be able to fight again. We had all these questions and didn't really have an answer. So by the time the next fight came around, which was obviously Proctor, leading up to it, we had no clue who I'd be fighting. We just got back training as soon as we can. I remember I had 2 weeks off with isolation before I could get back doing sort of single exercises and getting back training. And I think this was one of the longest periods of time I've had off since I was a kid. Didn't really affect me too much in the Adam Proctor fight, and again, now I think I'm a better fighter than I ever was then. The rest probably did me good. So you've been watching another fight analysis video. Thanks again for tuning in. If you haven't done yet, please like, share and comment on this video. Give us some love, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. We're going to try and do these more regular, same as the Dragon Days. It's just a bit extra for you. So keep an eye on that. So keep an eye, I can't even say it. So keep an eye out, got out that time, so keep an eye out for the next one. Or let us know which fight you want us to do analysis of, and we'll go from there. Thanks again.